The Boy Who Loved Math. The Improbable Life of Paul Erdos by Deborah Helligan. Pictures by Leeuwen Pham. The Boy Who Loved Math. Oh, whoa, these words are super small. There was once a boy who loved math. He grew up to be one of the greatest mathematicians who ever lived. And it all started with a big problem. Paul Erdos lived in Budapest, Hungary, with his mama. Mama loved Paul to infinity. Paul loved Mama to infinity too. When he was 3, Mama had to go back to work as a math teacher. She didn't want anything bad to happen to Paul, so she left him with the one person she knew would take very good care of him. She left him with Fraulen. Fraulen had too many rules. That was the problem. Paul hated rules. He hated to be told when to sit still, when to eat, when to go to sleep. What could Paul do? He couldn't exactly solve the problem, but Paul knew that when summer came, Mama would be home with him all day, 100% of the time. So he taught himself to count really high. Then he figured out how many days it would be until summer vacation. It made him feel much better to know the number. So Paul kept counting and thinking about numbers. One day, when he was 4, Paul asked a visitor when her birthday was. She told him. What year were you born? He asked. She told him. What time? She told him. Paul thought for a moment. Then he told her how many seconds she had been alive. 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000, 9, 152,358. Paul played with numbers. He added them together and subtracted them. One day he subtracted a bigger number from a smaller number. The answer was less than 0. How could a number be less than 0? Mama told him numbers below 0 are called negative numbers. Paul thought that was so cool. Now he knew for sure he wanted to be a mathematician when he grew up, but first he had to tackle another big problem. School. Mama sent him to school, of course, when it was time, but Paul and school were not a good match. Paul could not sit still for long, so he got up and ran around the classroom, but that was against the rules. Paul told Mama he didn't want to go to school anymore, not for one more day, for 0 days. He wished he could take days away, negative school days. He pleaded with Mama to stay home. Luckily, Mama was a worrier. She worried about germs a lot. She worried Paul could catch dangerous germs from the children at school. So she helped him solve his problem. So she said he could stay home. Fraulen, but even Fraulen was better than school. Maybe 400, 500 times better. Fraulein and Mama did everything for Paul. They cut his meat and buttered his bread and got him dressed and tied his shoes. That was great. It meant Paul could think about numbers all day. Numbers were best friends. He could always depend on numbers to be there and behave in the same way. Numbers followed rules. He didn't like rules in life, but he liked rules in numbers. And so Paul turned 7, then 8, then 9, and when Paul was 10, he fell in love. He fell in love with prime numbers. Prime numbers are special. They can't be divided evenly. A prime number can be divided only by itself in 1. The first prime number is 2, but that is the only even prime number. All the other prime numbers are odd. The numbers 3, 5, and 7 are prime.